Now we're going to bring you a second perspective guest, or in fact two guests for you now on the programme. We're going to take you live to a photography exhibition in Durban in South Africa. Now the exhibition though is rather unique. The photographs have been taken by young photographers who have migrated themselves. Now when you talk of migration, much of what is talked about comes from adults, but of course it's often young people, even children, who are perhaps the most affected. We're now a new project, the Growing Up Across Borders, or GRABS project, funded by the European Research Council, is aiming to discover much more about migration amongst young people and, crucially, how it affects them. We're going to cross to the exhibition, talk to Dr. Glenda Santana de Andrade from Paris 8 University, Paris 8 University, and the GRABS project, and Israel Wabikamba, a young photographer as well. Great to have you both with us on the programme today. I'm going to start with you, Glenda. I mean, we'll talk about the photography side of it in a moment. More generally, though, first of all, I mean, just tell us what the aim of the whole project is.
Thank you very much for having us first. So basically, this project aims actually to understand the experience of young people between the age of 15 and 25 crossing borders, whether these borders are material borders like the one that we could just hear you telling about us. So actual borders, or actual also internal borders. So for example, social borders. But we want to understand that through their own perspectives. So we've been using and mobilizing different participatory methods, and including, for example, photography and podcasting, to try to understand their perspectives, their experience on their own terms. And this is quite unique, as you said, because we have had many different groups in many different places. So we are working in 5 countries currently. So Greece, indeed, France, the UK, Canada, but also South Africa. So through the use of these participatory and creative methods, the young people that are, as you said, mostly affected by different borders, they will tell their experiences, and particularly we want to understand how these experiences impact their way to adulthood. Because this is a particular important moment while we are between 15, so we are passing from childhood to adulthood. So this project aims to fill this gap. We have very little knowledge concerning the experience of young people crossing up different borders.
You might expect people to do the research, just by doing interviews, that kind of thing. I mean, why did you decide that the real good way of doing it was to do things like the exhibition? We can see some of the pictures behind you. We're going to see some of them as well.
Yes. So basically, research, we've been researching, the research is led by Professor Jane at University Paris 8. So she and even we've been working with research for quite a long time. And research, we generally just go ask questions or observe for a particular time. But at the end, we realized that it's quite extractive. And so the aim of also using, we have 2 main objectives by using participatory methods. So the first one is to be less extractive, to actually go there and not work on people, but rather with people. And secondly, is also a point of restitution. We are social scientists, and we are working with people, so it's important also to give something back. And when we use participatory methods, we have more space for doing that. Besides, it's important to understand their experiences. They have voices, so to also actually leave more space for that. And participatory creative methods, they are quite well suited for actually expressing their experiences in their own terms. And particularly when we are talking about very difficult experience, sometimes traumatizing, and as you could actually mention just before we started talking about the experience of crossing borders.
Israel, let's turn to you. You're waiting very patiently there. I know you came to South Africa with your family as a child. I mean, how difficult has that move been for you? How difficult has it been to adapt and fit into a new society?
So far, okay, let me start off from the beginning. Growing up in South Africa, in the beginning was actually a good experience. I grew up here. I spent almost my entire life here. It sometimes feels like home, but sometimes also it doesn't feel like home, because recently it's been very, very challenging for us foreign nationals. And there's been a lot of challenges regarding hospitalization, education, and also different kinds of opportunities as like jobs and many things. So all of these things mostly stem to discrimination and xenophobia towards foreign nationals who don't have like IDs, documentation to, live here in South Africa. So I can say it's been a good run and also a difficult time here in South Africa. Yeah, it's balanced, it's both.
Well, let's see some of your pictures. You picked out a couple for us that particularly affected you, if you like. One of them the first one we're going to show is you in a library. Tell us about this picture.
That picture is it shows my love for books and my love for reading, because where I normally find peace is at the library. It reminds me of my situation right now, of foreign nationals who really don't get the opportunities to finish their studies, their schooling. So when I sit in the library, I normally think of those situations. Like most of my colleagues, my mates never got to finish school due to some opportunities being not given to them. So whenever I'm in the library, I feel at ease, because I get to put in some knowledge in me on how to just try and change things in the situation that we are currently in South Africa for the foreign nationals.
And the second picture you picked out is a little bit more abstract, this one. Tell us what this one is, these lights.
Okay, actually, that's one of my favorite pictures. And actually here at the art gallery where we exhibited them, it actually got sold, luckily. And that's one of my favorite pictures because, okay, I'm technically a very quiet person. I don't really talk as much. And so that's a visual representation of how I sometimes feel, how my emotions are. And it's an anger emotion that I normally feel. It's something that I can't express to people because I barely talk and stuff. So it's a visual representation of how I feel sometimes. And it's a way I get to express myself through pictures and my arts. So that's why I took a picture. That particular picture. That's why I took it.
And what's it been like taking part in the programme? I mean, has it helped you, do you think, to realise your situation and also be with other people in a similar situation?
Okay, so I would like to thank the members of this organization program for actually giving me this opportunity to be on this program, because there's actually a lot of people who really don't have a platform to speak about certain situations that are going on here in South Africa. And I'm proud to be here because I actually get to have a voice to speak up for them and visually represent their situations in South Africa. And also, the program helped me a lot as a person. It developed me in terms of communication and my skills in photography. It boosted my confidence in how I take my pictures and a lot of things. So, yeah, I felt really good being here in this program, and I've improved a lot as a person as well.
Yeah, good to hear that. Let's end up just by asking you, Glenda. I mean, I know it's not just about this exhibition. Obviously, you're working, aren't you, in all sorts of other areas across Europe, in Canada even as well. I mean, just briefly sum up what comes next, if you like, for the project.
Okay, so basically we are now in our second year of the project. So this is a 5-year project, and as you said, it's happening in different countries. So the idea is that to continue to mobilize different creative methodologies with the young people and work with them throughout this whole process. So during the next 3 years, and we also are working, as we said, in different countries, and we also will have another exhibition quite soon at the end of this month in Paris at the La Maison des Réfugiés. So we'll keep trying to mobilize the youth and also to mobilize these methodologies to better understand their lived realities. And of course, we are quite excited to see what are the next steps, because they are actually those who are choosing the methodologies. So you might be using other tools such as filmmaking, such as theater, poetry, and so on. So we're quite excited for the next steps.
Yeah, a lot to go forward to as well. Thank you very much to both of you for joining us. Great to have you with us on the programme. If you do happen to be in Durban as well, do look the exhibition up, of course. Dr. Glenda, Santana de Andrade from Paris 8 University, Wheat University, and the GRABS Project, and Israel Wabikamba joining us there from Durban. All the latest news coming up for you straight after the break, so do stay with us.